200,000 people came to his funeral. But the story didn't end there.
Los Angeles, December 11th, 1964. 3 a.m. Police get 2 calls at the same time from the same address. One says there has been a shooting. The other says there has been a kidnapping. Same motel, same hour. When officers arrive at the Hacienda Motel on Figueroa Street in South Central, they find a man on the floor of the manager's office. 1 bullet in his chest. It pierced his heart. He is wearing a sports coat, 1 shoe, no shirt, no pants, no underwear. The motel manager, a 55-year-old woman named Bertha Franklin, is standing over him with a pistol. She says he broke down her door. She says he attacked her. She says she shot him in self-defense. The body on the floor belongs to one of the most famous musicians in America. His name is Sam Cooke. He was the king of soul. The voice behind You Send Me, Chain Gang, Cupid, Twistin' the Night Away, and the song that would become the anthem of the civil rights movement, A Change Is Gonna Come. 33 years old, at the peak of his career, found dead on the floor of a $3 an hour motel known for prostitutes and pimps. 5 days later, the coroner's inquest lasted 15 minutes. Sam's lawyer was barely allowed to ask a single question. The ruling came back, justifiable homicide. Case closed. But the case was never closed. Not really, because the details that came out in the weeks and months and years after that night do not add up. They never added up. The woman who was with him that night was arrested for prostitution 1 month later. She was convicted of second-degree murder 15 years after that. The woman who shot him was a former prostitute with a criminal record. She sued his estate for $200,000, and she won. The injuries on his body were shocking. A singer named Etta James saw him at the funeral and said his head was nearly disconnected from his shoulders. His hands were broken. His nose was mangled. She said no woman with a broomstick could have done that. None of that was in the autopsy report. The money he was carrying that night, witnesses saw him flashing thousands of dollars at dinner. When police searched his body, they found $108. And here is the detail that haunts investigators 60 years later. The bullet they pulled from Sam Cooke's chest was from a .22 caliber weapon. Bertha Franklin's gun was .32 caliber. The bullet did not match the gun, and then the bullet disappeared. Muhammad Ali said it himself: if Cooke had been Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, or Ricky Nelson, the FBI would be investigating. What really happened on the last night of Sam Cooke's life. Every hour, every lie, every detail that does not fit. Before we get to the motel, you need to understand who Sam Cooke was, not just as a singer, but as a force. Born Samuel Cooke in 1931 in Clarksdale, Mississippi. He was the son of a Baptist minister and the 5th of 8 children. The family moved to Chicago in 1933. Sam grew up singing in church, with a voice many in the congregation called the purest they had ever heard. By 19, he was the lead singer of the Soul Stirrers, one of the most respected gospel groups in America. By 26, he crossed over to pop with the song You Send Me, his first #1. After that, the hits did not stop. He recorded 29 top 40 singles, including Chain Gang, Cupid, Wonderful World, Twistin' the Night Away, and Bring It On Home to Me. But here's what made Sam Cooke different from every other black artist of his era. He owned his music. In a time when record labels controlled everything, and when black artists signed away their rights and got pennies while white executives got rich, Sam Cooke built his own empire. He started his own record label, Sayar Records. He started his own publishing company, Cags Music. He started his own management firm. He wrote his own songs, produced his own sessions, and controlled his own masters. He was doing in 1960 what artists would not figure out how to do until decades later. And his manager was a man named Alan Klein. Remember that name? Klein managed Sam's finances through a company called Tracy Lilted, and Tracy Lilted owned the rights to everything Sam recorded. Everything. In the summer of 1963, Sam Cooke heard Bob Dylan's "Blowin' in the Wind" and felt something he later described as shame. A white folk singer had written what should have been a black anthem. Sam decided he would write his own. The result was A Change Is Gonna Come. It was recorded in January 1964. It was released as a single that December, 3 days after his death. The song became the anthem of the civil rights movement. It spoke for a generation. It spoke for a people. And the man who wrote it was about to walk into a $3 motel and never walk out. But in the months before his death, Sam Cooke was not just making music. He was making power moves that threatened people. He was talking about leaving Alan Klein. He was talking about taking full control of his masters. He was becoming too independent, too wealthy, too powerful for a black man in 1964 America. Keep that in mind. Tuesday evening, December 10, 1964, 9 p.m. Sam Cooke walks into Martoni's Italian restaurant in Hollywood. He is wearing a tailored Cy Devore suit. His new album, Live at the Copa, is climbing the charts. He is celebrating. He is having dinner with his producer, Al Schmidt, and Schmidt's wife, Joan. But Sam cannot sit still. Well-wishers keep stopping by the table. He has bought 3 or 4 martinis already, and he drifts to the bar. Al Schmidt goes to find him and sees Sam laughing with a group of music industry friends. Sam is buying rounds, and he is flashing cash, a roll of bills that Schmidt's wife Joan later described as several $1,000s. Earlier that day, Sam had withdrawn $5,000 from a safety deposit box at his bank. In 1964, money that is roughly $45,000 today. At a booth near the bar, Sam notices a 22-year-old woman, baby-faced, sitting with 3 men. One of them is a guitar player Sam recognizes. The guitar player introduces them. Her name is Elisa Boyer. Sam and Boyer end up cozied in a booth together. At 1 a.m., they leave Martoni's in Sam's brand new cherry red Ferrari and drive to PJ's nightclub in West Hollywood, where they were supposed to meet the Schmidts. The Schmidts are already gone. Inside PJ's, Sam gets into an argument with a man who is hitting on Boyer. She asks Sam to take her home. They leave at 2 a.m. Sam does not take her home. The Hacienda Motel sits at 9137 South Figueroa Street in South Central Los Angeles. It is 15 miles from the nightclub, 15 miles during which Sam drove past dozens of better hotels, nicer establishments, places that would have welcomed a celebrity of his stature. He stopped here, a $3 an hour motel known to police as a hangout for prostitutes and their associates. Sam pulled up to the manager's window and registered under his own name. The manager, Bertha Franklin, saw Boyer in the car. She told Sam he would have to sign in as Mr. and Mrs. He did. He drove around to the back, and he and Boyer entered the room. What happened next? Depends on who you believe. Elisa Boyer's version. She asked Sam to take her home. He refused. He pinned her to the bed and began removing her clothes.